What's up, everybody? It's your boy TJ, and welcome back to TJ TV. Things are gonna be a little bit different on this episode. There's no glitz and glamour, no backdrop, no outfit, no editing. I'm in my studio, so that's why you see the lights and everything set up. But I wanted to talk about our world at this present time and what's going on today. About Mr. George and everything, and the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. A couple of days ago, woke up and said good morning to God and everything, got myself together and scrolled on Twitter, and all I see is buildings burning down and protesters and police riots and rioting and looting, and I'm like, what's going on with the world today? What's really happening? And I'm like, this man's death has, sparked another movement that Black people were just tired of being mistreated and abused. And I'm like, God, we didn't even get a chance to really grieve over Ahmaud death, the young man that died in Brunswick, Georgia, which, by the way, is like an hour away from where I live. But I'm like, God, this is just the way the world is going to be from now on. This is just, Black people just getting treated unfair. Not only Black people, anybody where that's just not a part, that's just not white. Are we just all gonna get mistreated unfairly and judged and ruled and just hurt and discredit and everything that we do? Like, they're just really mad that we're hearing alive. And a couple of days ago, I seen a post circling on Twitter, and I seen a post on Facebook. It said, and this is your city. If a young man, got murdered due to a police assault, would you riot? And I would say no. Only no because of where I live. I live in a very, very small town. It's not big enough to riot. You wouldn't make a movement here. You would cause probably more damage than you would try to, make your purpose trying to do a riot here. Realize people that when they're rioting at a Target and AutoZone, where they have multiple places where they could go get, where they could get stuff. Here in my city, we've got a Walmart and a Harvey's. That's about it. Realize you burn these things down or riot it, we can't get anything else anymore, or at least for a long while. They got to rebuild and remodel and restock and rehire at that point. So it's like, no, I wouldn't riot here. Now, if I lived in these other cities, LA and Houston and Miami and Jacksonville and all of them, if I lived there, I would go to a peaceful protest. But in my opinion, I don't feel like rioting and looting is going to do anything. People have done that years ago. Our people have done that years ago, and it's just like a repeated cycle. It keeps happening every year, every few decades, however long, however current, or however often it happens. It's happened. So rioting doesn't seem to be an answer. I know I saw a video on Twitter even this morning of a 46-year-old, a 31-year-old, and a 16-year-old. The 46-year-old was arguing with a 31-year-old, saying, he's tired of this. He's been going through this since he was young, and he would just express his opinion. And I understand where he's coming from. It is tiresome. I'm tired of it myself. You can't walk down the street without something happening to you. You can't go for a jog in your own neighborhood. We can't do anything without us having a vendetta or a bad purpose behind it. And it really makes no sense at all that our lives are just like that. Even me, I'm sometimes scared to go out at certain times of the day. Cause I'm like, okay, I don't need them to have any reason for me to be like, why are you out this late? And that turns into a whole scandal. Or I sometimes hate driving at night because rather the police are heavy on the roads, and I don't want to be pulled over, and that turns to a whole freak accident over something. But the 31-year-old saying, there has to be a better way. There is a better way. We just have to find it. Because rioting and looting and burning down buildings and fighting cop cars and all of that is not the answer. He pulled a 16-year-old from the crowd, and he was telling him, you see us? we did this at your age, and yet nothing has still changed, and which is true. Like I said, we've been rioting for years and years and years since all of this, since whoever the first, unfortunately, black person to die due to police brutality was. We've been rioting since then. We've been rioting in slavery and everything. We were rioting in civil rights, and it's just crazy that over all these decades and centuries, nothing has changed. It stops for a few decades, stops for a few years, and then but starts to right back all over again. And he was like, "What?" He was telling the 16-year-old, your generation, have to find a better way, because I did. The 31 was saying he did the same thing at your age, and nothing has changed. And I totally agree with him. There has to be a different way, and I feel a different way is better education, getting people of color empowered in certain power aspects and everything. People say they don't want us. Okay, they don't want you there. Make a room for them. Make a room for yourself. Then at that point, a lot of people are what's the word? I guess our image, maybe I want to say, is associated with probably sports and music and in the rap industry. But realizing we don't have a lot of black prosecutors, we don't have a lot of black lawyers, we don't have a lot of black Supreme Court people, a lot of black judges. We don't have a lot of those people. We don't even have a lot of black police officers to start with. So you can't change anything. You can't expect the white people to understand where we're coming from if they don't have anybody with them to open their eyes. The only thing they see from us is, rioting and yelling and all the negative stuff that they see about us, but they don't have anybody, at their desk, no colleagues that's saying that, this is how it is in the black community. They can't get the in-depths other than us yelling at them and everything, telling them how we feel. But as far as like on a professional, I guess you could say professional side, they don't have anything like that. They don't have an inside person. That's what we need. We need an inside person to go in there and open their eyes, or just take over, not per se take over, but just, be there all together, just to have that black person, and not just one, because they always want to hire just one token black person to say, yeah, we have a black person. We need multiple. We need 5 or up. That's what we need, 5 or up. But, that's just a thing in the black community. If you're not playing basketball, if you're not playing football, if you're not, on somebody rapping on somebody's track and or selling drugs, you're not consider yourself, moving out. And, it's a hard pill to swallow, but at the same time, it's the truth at the same time. So if we could get more of our young people to pursue themselves into being maybe lawyers and doctors and Supreme Court people and judges and everything, then more than likely we will see change. I can't say we will, because I don't know what the future holds, but more than likely we will see a change if we shift our mindsets from that this is the only way for us to live, or that's the only way for us to get out of the hood or whatever. If you realize black people don't really leave anything to the next generation, we don't leave anything but how to get through poverty. You got Hispanics who teach their children, how to build, how to construct, how to do lawn care. They'll always have a job. You have Asian people who teach you how to have a business, the nail salons, the hair salons. I go in there with my mom sometime and I see an 8-year-old learning the books, or I see an 8-year-old learning how to do a pedicure. So now her family's going to leave that business to her. Then you have the Indians who own the gas station and casinos, and you think their children are going to know they're going to teach their children business. But when it comes to us as black people, I could teach you how to get food stamp, how to get the max on food stamp. I can teach you how to get a house for no rent. Instead of, okay, let me teach you how to open a business. Let me teach you how to get a loan, or let me teach you how to do this and that. I work at a bank, and there's so many young people, not even only black, there's just so many young people that don't even know how to write a check. They don't know how to fill out a check. They don't know where to put anything. They don't know how to write the legal words for a check. They don't know how to write big numbers for a check. Like that's sad that we're not. If schools don't teach it, then it's our responsibility to teach our next generation. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I have a 1-year-old nephew. 1-year-old black nephew. And this is just, it hurts me when I woke up this morning and I looked at him and I'm like, he's light skinned, but he's still black either way. And my daughter is about as dark as I am, if not a little bit lighter. But it hurts me that, and it worries me that he's gonna have to grow up in this world where this is your life. You're going to be judged just because of your skin color. You're going to be attacked just of your skin color. People are going to hate you just because of your skin color. And it's sad. It's terrible. It's sad, and it shouldn't be, but sadly it is. But if we don't stand up to make a change and stand up in the right way, not saying rioting and protesting and burning down houses and starting fires to people's businesses is the right way. Honestly, to me, I don't agree with it at all. I do not agree with rioters. And the thing that surprised me about these rioters is that y'all found out where this man lived, where that police officer lived, and the only thing y'all did was spray paint his driveway and the front of his door. I'm not the front of the door, but the front of the driveway and a little bit of the street, and drew chalk on this driveway that said murderer and blah 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 and this and this. Why didn't y'all burn down his house? What stopped y'all from vandalizing his house? Not saying I wanted y'all to do it, but if y'all burning down places that have nothing, I mean zero things to do with this, when y'all actually got the opportunity with the person that caused all this, y'all want to go easy on them. That I was so confused when I seen and read that. Like, y'all up at burning down and robbing Target, but just spray paint just so that he could get washed off with water. He ain't even got to pay nobody to do that. Get a good pressure washer. He could clean all that up. But y'all didn't do anything else to his house. I was so baffled by that. I was so confused and just did not understand it. But this video is getting a little long though. But in my opinion, it has to be a change. Yes, it needs to be a change. But at the same time, we had to do our part for it too. We can't just expect things to fall into our hands. We can't expect things just to say, oh, here, you're free. There you go. You ain't got to worry about people shooting you anymore. No, that's just not how the world's going to work. That's just not how life works. Nothing just dropped in your lap for free. You have to get out and work for what you want. If you want change, raise up some lawyers, raise up some doctors, raise up some judges. Let them know that they don't have to be a basketball player. They don't have to be a football player or a rapper in order to make it in this world. Now, if that is your God-given gift, honey boo boo, shoot all the balls you want, throw every touchdown you can, and make every beat you can fire. But for the ones that may not be that gifted and feel like, oh, they can't do anything, that's an option. Think about the change you want to see in the world. If you're so angry about police brutality, then be the judge that sentenced these polices to their crime. That's just it. So, I mean, I don't know how many people gonna like this video. I don't know. This is a hard pill to swallow, but I was getting so many questions about it. I'm just going to answer them like this. Other than that, that's really it. You guys, please be safe. Please, my brothers and sisters, be safe out here. If you're going to protest, do it safely. Beware. Keep your eyes open in your surroundings. Love you guys. I'll see y'all later.